In our club, the speakers and leaders come to learn and become better lecturers and proven innovators, and to continue grow and share their wisdom. So before we start our meeting, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance
to the
flag of the
United
States of America
and
to the republic
for which
it stands, one
one
nation,
nation
under God,
God,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So tonight's theme for tonight's meeting is nurture your nature. Very interesting theme. So we are heading to a very interesting meeting tonight, and I'm going to let our Toastmaster Akim tell us more about this meeting. So Akim, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, and good evening, everyone. Before we get going, we've got one guest in our midst, and that is our area director for M33, in person of Toastmasters, Sujata Srikanth. Without further ado, we would like, in line with our tradition, we'd like to ask our guests to introduce herself and what brought her to our meeting tonight. Over to you, Sue.
Thank you, Akim. I'm Sujata Srikanth. Many of you have seen my name and called out to me. If you feel uncomfortable calling my name, feel free to call me Sue. I've been in Toastmasters since 2018, so a year longer than a couple of you. And I have been in several official positions in my club, which is the Chenier Toastmasters Club. It is a closed company club. And just by fact of working with Akim, I feel like I got voluntold into becoming area director for M33. So here I am talking to your club as area director for M33. I'm looking forward to this meeting. I've visited other clubs. I've learned so much from other clubs, and I feel like I'm going to learn a lot today from your club, and I'm really looking forward to this meeting today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Madam Area Director. We've got another guest here, Angel Thomas. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that name. Angel, we're just asking the guests to introduce themselves. Can you, if you can show your video, or at least, okay, I know you've taken yourself off mute. Please introduce yourself and let us know what drew you to our meeting tonight. Welcome.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. Forgive me, I'm not familiar as I should be with Zoom, but I am a member of the now co-champion Toastmasters Club in Sugar Land, and we were invited this evening. So I've held a couple roles within our Toastmasters Club, and when Josh shared that we were invited, I figured I want to, kind of check it out and see how you all run your meetings.
Excellent.
So thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're welcome to our meeting. And I'm very sure that you'll have a great time tonight.
Awesome.
All right. I think those are the guests that we've got thus far. Again, as your Toastmaster for this meeting tonight, the theme of the meeting is nurture your nature. And I believe that somebody dropped the agenda in the chat. So please, Angel, you can pick it up there if possible. With that said, nurture your nature. What does that mean? Each one of us, we've got a nature. It may be the rate at which we do certain things. It may be the values that we hold that drive us to do what we do. It may be the way we interact with people. Shockingly, there are many of us who don't like our nature. I'm here to tell you all tonight that choose to love your nature, because that is the starting point. Respect your nature, love your nature, understand your nature, and then continue to work on how you can further nurture that nature to the point that it becomes benefit to you, it becomes benefit to your immediate environment, and the world in which we live can benefit from it. One of the reasons we're part of the Toastmasters, most of us, or maybe if not all of us, is the fact that we want to be better. We want to improve ourselves. As your Toastmaster tonight, I just want you to sit back, relax, enjoy this meeting. See one or two things that you can pick up from this meeting that would benefit you, that would enhance your ability to nurture your nature. With that said, I would like to call on the next group of people that will be helping us tonight. And that group of people is headed by a general evaluator. And our general evaluator tonight is none other than one of our past presidents and the immediate past Division L director, Toastmaster Avi. Avi, without further ado, please take it away, introduce yourself, your role, and your team. Over to you, Avi.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, everybody. My name is Avi. Tonight, I am serving as the general evaluator, and it's a big privilege for me. Now, as a general evaluator, my role tonight, just view it as the auditor of this meeting. And what it means by that is from the beginning to the end of the meeting, I am going to see everything that we did right, opportunities for improvement, and how we can help to make this club a better place. Now, the auditing stands in terms of how a speaker, the functionaries, the coordinators, everybody work together to make this meeting a success. And hence, we will be auditing in multiple parameters, the timing of speeches, as well as any friction or clutch words that's being used. To do that, we have an unbreakable team that is performing these kind of role. And I'm going to introduce them right now, starting with our R counter. And the same person is also the grammarian. Hence, I would request Rafia to introduce herself and each role that she's going to play tonight.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. As an R counter, the purpose of R counter is note words and the sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. So I'll give you the detailed report towards the end of the meeting. Okay, my next role is as a grammarian. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding word, quote, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day today is infrangible, meaning unbreakable, inviolable. The example of the sentence, the word in the sentence is Tessie has an indomitable, infrangible spirit. And another example is marriage is holy and infrangible. So I will give you the report again as a grammarian towards the end of the meeting. So I will hand over back to our general evaluator.
Thank you, Rafia. That was an excellent introduction. If anyone noticed, I used the word, this team is unbreakable because I didn't want to show the word of the day before that. So now I can use the word of the day that is unfringeable. This team is completely unfringeable and cannot be deteriorated. Hence, moving on to the next role, that is the timer. So the role of the timer is to keep the meeting speakers as well as participants on track. And what that means by that is that our speaker, we have two speakers tonight, and both of them will have 5 to 7 minutes to conclude this speech. When it's 5 minutes, you will see, and again, before that, I am the timer in case if I didn't say it right. So if it's 5 minutes, when the speaker reaches that time, then I'll be flashing this green light, 6 minutes, yellow, 7 minutes, red. And the speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up their speech. Same goes with the table topics. Our table topic master, Utpai Kalu, who has some excellent questions to keep you on your feet. And when some participants are speaking, they have 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute, 1.5 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to wrap up. That is the introduction of the timer. Now, again, putting the cap of general evaluator, I'm going to call upon the ballot counter, and that's our own Akin Oni, who can introduce himself. Akin?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As your ballot counter tonight, I would record the names of the speakers, the evaluators, as well as the table topics responders. And I will push it through you all via an electronic ballot poll so that you can vote. And then once you vote, it's going to come back to me and I'm going to tally the vote. And then I'll be able to let the Toastmaster, who is myself, know at some point who the winners are. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator, sir.
Thank you, Akin. That was really good. In the end of this meeting, I will give a brief 30 seconds or 1 minute overview of what my report is. And then we all gonna go through each of the evaluator about the speaker's role tonight. So thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. That was very good. Without further ado, our first speaker tonight that will be evaluated by me is Christina Sinclair. Toastmaster Christina Sinclair began her Toastmasters career with the Southwest Project Management Toastmasters Club this past March. Our Pathways part is Presentation Mastery, Level 1, and the project is Writing a Speech with Purpose. Christina recalls that the Comcast Technology Center is both the tallest building and one of the largest structures in Philadelphia, standing 1,121 feet tall and spanning over 1.5 million square feet of interior space. Completed in 2017, the super tall stands 60 stories high and features office space on its lower floors and a hotel on its upper levels with an observation deck at the top. This was Christina's first architectural project. Our speech will take us on a journey of how she overcame our design challenges. Christina Sinclair, how architects can overcome design challenges. How architects can overcome design challenges. Give it up for Christina Sinclair.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Let me share my screen. And everyone, let me know if you could see my PowerPoint.
Yes, we can see it.
All right. Let's begin. Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters and fellow guests. Has anyone encountered an obstacle by taking a risk? Raise of hands. All right. I have, and I would like to take you all on a journey of how I overcame a design obstacle. Similar to how Toastmasters meetings are run, it's very similar to how a project comes together. There are many different players involved, along with coordination, and planning. It takes a lot of planning and preparing to bring a project together and successful. Has anyone seen this building before I have on my screen? No? Well, it's located in the heart of Philadelphia. This is the tallest skyscraper in Philadelphia, and it's ranked number 14 tallest in the US. This building is very special to me because it was my first project coming out of school. And as you can see, it's very overwhelming, right? This project consists of an office, retail, shopping, restaurants, a 5-star luxury hotel, a pool, a spa, a fitness facility, a ballroom, tons of meeting rooms, NBC studios, and it also has a cafe and an interactive ride. Also on top of that, an underground parking and a concourse level that connects to the other Comcast building right next to it, plus the subway station underneath. This project took us 4 years to develop. So the cafe, here's a little pictures about what it looks like inside to get you guys kind of familiar with it. But the cafe was the first project I was assigned to and managed and documented on my own with a little guidance from my principal. Now, I worked as an architect of record, and my job was to take this drawing that you see and bring it to life and make sure it's code compliant and structurally stable and constructible as well. The architect wanted he wanted to create an indoor-outdoor place, or other words, piazza. And this cafe was located on the second floor. It overlooks the lobby downstairs, and also right across from it, you can see the interactive ride along with the entrance to the offices and to the hotel. So this cafe is very unique because the design architect wanted people to gather around and enjoy the scenery and experience what they have designed. So the obstacle for this particular one was that they wanted to create a oval object that was seamless, delicate, elegant looking, and they wanted to have this to be semi-hidden, where it doesn't stick out as a sore thumb, but it also is a beautiful piece of art. As I was drawing this and trying to see how each component comes together, I noticed several things that needed to be coordinated with the design architect, which might jeopardize their whole design. This is the picture of what it looks like right now as it's built. And these are the drawings I drew to bring this cafe to life. So with this cafe, there's several different challenges. There is a low counter and a high counter. Low to be ADA compliant, and high for the rest of the people to have an option to sit up high if they'd like. With this challenge, the challenge was trying to connect the two different elevation heights of the high counter and the low counter by making it seem like it was effortless, that it just flowed from low to high. Well, they wanted to put in a USB port on top of the counter where people can just plug in their laptops or phones. And to me, it was very distracting. I didn't think that I felt like it jeopardized the whole design intent. So I decided to come up with a better alternative option, which is an underground counter. With that, you're able to plug in the USB port and it would be hidden so no one can see any cords. And if something ever spilt, you are okay. Another design challenge was to create how would you conceal the electrical outlets? With the electrical outlets, it was tricky because each outlet comes with a junction box. And the space that I had to work with was 7/8 of an inch, which was really tiny. So there was no way to put in and install an electrical outlet on top in certain areas because of how thin the space we had to work with. So with that being said, we decided to come up with an idea where we had a strip that goes all along the cafe. The strip represents the low portion of it. And then within that strip, that's where we hid the electrical outlet. So it looked like it was flawless and you couldn't see it as an eyesore. I had to look up different manufacturers and reps to find out which product would look best. And from someone who didn't have a lot of experience, this was pretty scary to have and to research and to face and to have to talk to the architect and tell them why I believe that this option and this way of designing it would work versus what they had instead. Which, coming from someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, it's very hard for someone to listen to. But with this experience, my experience is infragile to me because I decided to take a risk. I decided to challenge the design architect and give them several different options of what would look best with their scenario. And in the end, they actually decided to go with my options. And to me, every time that I get to go see it, I have a little area where I can point to of saying, this is all made by me. And so I want to leave you with a quote saying, take a risk. The worst that can happen is that it doesn't work out. But if it does, you're in for a lifetime, adventure of a lifetime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christina. Excellent. Thank you for taking us into the world of architectural design and project management. I mean, we've got technical deliveries tonight. It's typically unusual. We have two back-to-back project professionals talking about project management tonight. Now, with that said, can you please take 1 minute and Mr. Timer, please let me know when 1 minute has passed and send Christina via private chat, direct chat regarding how you feel about our speech tonight, just directly, 1 minute. Mr. Timer, let me know when it's over. Tell her what you liked, make suggestions for improvement, if there are.
One minute.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Our second speaker needs no introduction. He is our Vice President of Education, and we are so glad that he opted, after a little bit of nudge, to present tonight. And many thanks to Upai for choosing to be a table topics master, because that was going to be his excuse. Toastmaster Ohe Alba is a registered professional engineer with well over 30 years of experience. He has a Master of Science in Water Resources Engineering from the University of Illinois at the prestigious Urbana-Champaign campus, and a PhD in Geotechnical Engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology. For the last 5 years, Dr. Alba has been a senior engineering manager with the city of Sugar Land, where he manages the city's drainage and flood control capital improvement program, CIP, and he provides leadership and assistance to the development review process. Ohe has participated in many high-profile national and international projects, performing a variety of engineering responsibilities, including planning, design, construction, and field operations. He has managed several engineering teams and successfully performed project management for a variety of federal, state, municipal, and private clients. He has also been an adjunct professor of geotechnical engineering at the University of Houston. Toastmaster Ohe has been a member of the Southwest Project Management Toastmasters Club since 2019, where he is currently the VPE. He is working on his effective coaching path in Pathways, and today he will be presenting his level 3 elective. Ohe Alba, effective coaching presentation using visual aids. Effective coaching presentation using visual aids. Give it up for Dr. Alba.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen before I start, since this is a... Okay, can you all see my screen? Or not yet? Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I don't, okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. It's really my privilege to be tonight here presenting on the qualities of effective coaches. Before I start, just by show of hands, let me know how many of you have ever had a coach. That's a good thing. And let me know if you have get anything back from having a coach, if it has really changed your life. Well, if you never had a coach or a mentor, which is not the same thing, you could be limiting your opportunities for your career success. Because coaches help you identify a focus on what is important to accelerate your career. I have the good fortune of having several excellent coaches in my life, in my professional and personal life. And people that really make their difference in my life. One of them was my father. Although he died when I was very young, what I learned from him, I still apply today, every day. But what is a coach? Let me start with that before. A coach is not the same as a consultant. Many people use the words interchangeable, or even as a mentor. They are different things. A coach actually comes from the word wagon or carriage that was used in Europe back in the 1500s. And a coach means something or a transport or a person that transport a group of people from point A to point B. So it's what you use to go from where you are to where you want to go. Compared to a mentor, a coach has much greater accountability and provides more active hands-on guidance along to the individual journey. So coaching is also considered a very powerful style of leadership. So what are those 7 characteristics of an effective coach? The first one is the coach is a masterful at asking questions. They know what is the key question to ask and the right time to do it. They strive at asking thoughtful questions to the people they are working with. This requires practice, experience, patience, and self-awareness. Number 2, they are sensibly direct. They don't play office politics. They know what to say and how to give direct feedback in a sensible, but in a discretionary way. Coach go to the point to produce a particular response or an action from his client. Number 3, they have a sensory acuity and awareness. They are aware of the environment that is around them. And they watch for body language, for tonality, for verbal and non-verbal forms of communication. And they understand them when they are talking and when people is talking to them. And more important, they are masterful listeners. They are highly empathetic and intuitively connected to the people they are talking to. He intends to listen intensively. Number 5, they are resourcefulness. They know their business and they know who is who and how to find help for themselves or for the people. But they are also challenging. They know that there is always room for growth, and an effective coach is committed to support the growth of the individuals they are working with them, professionally, personally, psychologically. They implant certain purpose and they provide meaningful direction. Number 7, and probably the most important one, they are people of high integrity. Honesty, truthworthiness, integrity are the cornerstones of a coach. Only after an individual trusts and respects their coach, they will start leading into the right direction. If you want to be an effective coach who brings your clients or the people you are working with you to a great achievement, you have to examine and implement these 7 qualities. But additionally to those qualities, the coaching have to take 3 important steps. One, when they are working with somebody, is to take inventory, to identify where the individual is and to know exactly what that individual needs to go. So they need to know how to read current conditions and set up goals. So it's very important that they know how to set objectives. Determine very clearly and define objectives is very important, and know how to work in that direction. And number 3, they know how to develop a strategy. So you may know where you want to go, but if you don't set up the proper strategy, you will make life for your clients a lot harder. So you need to guide the pathway to success by helping the individual break those big goals into smaller achievements that they can succeed getting one after another. So in conclusion, the coach knows how to set objectives and strategies, knows how to ask questions, knows how to provide feedback, is a masterful listener, and is a challenging person. So remember, always take inventory, define a clear vision, and develop a clear and good strategy. Fellow Toastmasters, I hope that you all become a coach for somebody and that you help these people that you are coaching succeed in their personal and professional life. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much, Ohe. I mean, can you imagine that Ohe weren't planning to share that with us tonight? And but as of this time last night, he didn't even know that I would be speaking now. So thank you so very much, Ohe. Okay. We really appreciate you, and just like other people like yourself. And when we talk about nurturing your nature, which is our theme tonight, the purpose of you nurturing your nature is for you to be better and for the world around you to benefit from the good that you have become. It's always very good. And you can only coach someone, which is a gift to them, if you have what you can give them. And you can only have what you are able to give them if you have nurtured what your peculiar nature is. Thank you so very much once again. With that said, Mr. Timer, beginning from this second, can we please provide Ohe feedback? Let's send him a comment directly via chat. Tell him what you like, make suggestions for improvements if there are. Thank you. Let me know when 1 minute is over.
Time.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Mr. Timer, I'm going to ask you the difficult questions. Do the two speakers qualify?
Only Jorge qualified. Christina was a little above the timeline.
All right, thank you very much. I thought as much. Now, with that said, I will not be pushing the ballot through to you all. So Ohe is an automatic winner in terms of prepared speeches tonight. Congratulations, Ohe, and thank you so much, Christina, for what you delivered. Moving on. As you all know, every Toastmaster offers you a pie. And we've just finished the P part of the pie tonight. We're now going to the I part, which is the impromptu speeches. And to lead impromptu speaking session is no one else other than our immediate past president and the current M30 director, Toastmaster Ukwai Kalu. Toastmaster Kalu, the floor is completely yours. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. It is my pleasure to be part of this beautiful and effective meeting tonight. As already mentioned, I'm going to be serving as the table topic master. And looking around, we have got some guests. And I just want to invite you to be part of this segment of our pie meeting, the impromptu speech. I have two approaches I want to take. First is to give few seconds for people who will volunteer. If I do not get a volunteer, I already have a wheel spin that I will be able to spin You can't run away from it. Do I have a volunteer to my question? Hey, thank you, Christina. The question I have for you, Christina, some companies are going back to office, while others want to maintain virtual working arrangements. If you are the decision maker, what one reason will make you approve virtual working arrangements over office?
So your question was, what
will influence your decision?
What would make
to
my decision?
Approve virtual meeting, virtual office setting over being in the office?
Well, as a project manager, I would first ask my team and take a poll of what they would prefer first. If they'd like to work at home or if they would like to come in the office. Once I get the poll, then I would have to evaluate it. And if a lot of people chose to do virtual, there's several protocols that I would enforce to make sure that they are doing the appropriate action, whether it is checking in with their teammates to make sure their line of communication is open. If they're away from the computer, make sure they have notes and messages to say that they're away. If they need to call someone or they'll be able to easily reach someone. So I would want to enforce some little rules and regulations of what to do if they work at home. That way we all know what to do and what to expect. And if someone's away from the computer, that doesn't mean that they're not doing their work. There's a reason why, because they left a little note or a message. And that would help enforce my decision whether or not to choose that. If the whole team decides it, and if they do, then I would do a series of workflows and what to do and what not to do while working from home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. That's absolutely excellent. Many a times we have always forgotten the need for us to have that buy-in of those that are working for us or those we are leading. I think it's very nice for us to also reach out and see how they feel before making a decision. And that also paints us in the point of holding them accountable. Do I have a second volunteer?
Looks like Angel wants to volunteer because she's smiling already. So
yes, and I'm looking at her.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Do I give it to you?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Based on the theme of our meeting, I just want to ask you the question. You've heard about work-life balance. How do you ensure you maintain the balance given the demands of your job? Is it possible?
Possible. Okay.
Work-life balance, is it possible?
Okay. Hello, everyone. As I think about the question, is work-life balance possible? I think that it is possible. And I will say that because just recently, I realized that Microsoft has this tool included where it encourages you to take breaks or focus time or whatever, step away from your computer time. And I finally implemented that. But even prior to that, I believe that work-life balance was possible. You have to set the tone for your work life as well. Maybe communicate with your manager, communicate with your family at home to really find that balance, and also look deep within yourself to find that balance. I've had times where if I'm at home working, I'm on my computer all day and I'm not really moving. So I've also offered up safety moments at work prior to meetings where I encourage others to pick a time to get up from your desk throughout the day, walk around, take a break, walk around the block, come back. It's just really important to you, yourself, in order for you to be great to your family and productive at work. It's actually infringible. It's not up for debate. You have to find that balance for yourself. Thanks.
Thank you. I like the way you presented it. While we can control it, others can always step in. So letting them know and having also their buy-in will help you to strike that balance. Thank you. Do I have a third person who wants to volunteer?
I think you may have scared some guests. They just disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got.
Okay, do I have anyone who wants to volunteer? Do I have an option of sharing the screen?
Yes, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. So I'm gonna spin the screen, the wheel. Uh-oh. My president, take it from there.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, I haven't put together this meeting and the theme of the meeting. There's something that has been a common debate about the global warming and climate change. And we also heard about the Senate just passing an act that will cost some billions of dollars. So my question would be for you, if there is one thing you can do in order to help to fight climate change, what would that be?
Okay, you can unshare your screen. Mr. Timer, I haven't started yet. So. Thank you. Okay, and the question again, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Okay, the question is this. We are talking about global warming, talking about climate change, and there have been a lot of debate, people who believe in it and people who do not believe in it, but all of us are seeing the effect of it. And Senate a few days ago passed a bill that will help in fighting climate change. My question now is, if you as a person have one thing to do in order to help in that fight, what would that be?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, and good evening, everyone. We all know that global warming is one big challenge that we all face. And it's not so much even about us today, but more so about our children and their children and their children's children, and so on to many generations. If there's one thing I would do to reduce that, the impact of global warming, is probably for me to make sure in everything that I do, I look for an opportunity to go green. It may start with buying an electric vehicle. And that's probably one thing that I can zero in on. And what are the benefits of buying and riding an electric vehicle? You realize that at least in your own little way, it may be minute, but at least you are reducing the amount of emissions that we release into the atmosphere. There are a number of other things I could do that I would love to do or that I'm doing already. But at least if there's one thing that I'm going to pinpoint right now is just looking into replacing my current cars with electric vehicles. And that will help, not just today, it will help tomorrow and well into the future. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. The essence of the question was for us to have that personal responsibility, and you really addressed that. Thank you so much. Mr. Timer, do we have time for one or two more questions? Sorry?
I think we can continue for two more, at least we can go. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a volunteer?
I like your wheel.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the question would be, if you have an opportunity to meet with your MD and you have 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes is for you to tell your MD the job you're doing for the organization and how your job is adding value to the organization. How will you handle that?
And the question is for me, is that correct? So,
Yes, because you volunteer, that question is for you.
no, I said that you like your wheel, but that's perfect because I actually going to use a real life example. This afternoon, as I was leaving the office late for a physical therapy that I have to go, I was walking on the aisle, going toward the elevator when I run, not into my boss, the city engineer, but directly into the city manager, which is really in our organization is the top person. Basically, he is the person that is just behind city council and the mayor. So it's kind of like the big boss in a large organization is equivalent to a CEO or a CFO, if you want to do some sort of comparison. And I knew I literally have 30 seconds, no more than 40 seconds, while I walked along the hall from where we were standing up, walking toward the elevator, because he was going to continue on working toward his office. And I needed to explain to him, first of all, I needed to thank him for his support, because currently we are asking Texas Water Development Board to provide us some loans for capital improvement projects. And I needed to really thank him for the support, because he has been very thankful and providing us all the forms and signatures and everything at the very last minute, because with Texas Water Development Board, they have been asking us to fill a bunch of forms and applications, literally with no time to do it. And normally in city government, that doesn't happen because they are busy people and they have too many things to do. So I spent like about 10 seconds asking him for all the help, or thanking him for all the help that he has been providing us. But at the same time, I make a very short summary of the 3 different projects that we have obtained funding from Texas Water Development Board. And the total amount actually is $47 million for 3 different projects that we have been funded by the state of Texas. So just by saying that, basically I make a very short summary of the work that I was doing for the city without never, ever one single time mentioning that I was doing that work for the city. But he knew. Thank you very much, Mr. Speech Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jorge. I never knew you had the opportunity. What a coincidence. And thank you for the answer. The last question, who will want to take that? I don't want to spin the wheel. Can someone step up?
Maybe Michael.
Michael, would you like to take up that question? I know you like a table topic.
Not then a second guess. Sue can take it.
He's coming on board. He's coming on board.
I'm on the wheel.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, okay, so,
he's on the road.
okay, Avi, would you like to step in?
Yeah, I was saying Sue can take the question. I don't mind taking also.
Okay. We already asked a question about work-life balance, and we were told it's possible. I just have a follow-up maybe question on that. Avi, should you have a conflict between your family and your job? Which one would you let go? Last meeting, someone presented about the glass ball and the rubber ball.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. So let me repeat the question. If I have an option to choose between family and work?
Yes.
Okay. Well, being a negotiator in most of the cases, I would like to stick in the middle. And I will go back to being the balanced person in this. And there are two reasons why I'm gonna do that. Take the example of nature. You plant a seed and it grows into some kind of fruit or something. What I'm getting into is nature is not in a hurry, but still everything gets accomplished. If you look at it from a different perspective, done is much better than being perfect. And the two perspective I'm putting in front, because at times there will be situation where you might be having a circumstances where you have to choose what matters to you. Choose at that moment the call of duty. Let's say you have an immediate meeting with your company executive, and on the family side, you might have to go and visit a function or family event. You might have to choose that, okay, maybe I can miss this and then go and evaluate or sit with my director to make some big decisions there. So you will be in a position to make those calls, which takes priority. At times, it will not be a clear-cut answer, but always remember that nature is not in a hurry, but still everything gets accomplished so that even thus your life can also have the same trajectory. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Avi. Definitely, there will always be a conflict. And it takes the proper evaluation, because sometimes those conflicts can have a way you can manage it, and yet you can still attend to both of them and still be able to meet the needs of the work and the family. Thank you so much. I believe that brings to an end the impromptu speeches for the table topic tonight. I really want to thank everyone that participated, and I turn it back to Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. And what a time, what a set of questions. And real quick, we introduced recently the opportunity for our guests to ask any questions about what they've heard tonight, just over the next 3 to 5 minutes. And the guests that we've gotten tonight are our area director and as well as Angel. Do you have any question whatsoever? We used to do that at the back end of the meeting, but we realized that sometimes we finish late and we're not able to attend to the questions that might have been in the mind of our guests. So over to you, Angel or Sue. Do you have any question based on what you've heard tonight? Or maybe anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
You mean additional table topics questions or?
No, just any question at all. Maybe somebody like Christina presented on the challenge she faced with architectural design work. You might have one follow-up question, because sometimes we listen to some of these speeches and we will wish we were able to ask them, how did you do this? How did that make you feel? So it's just a general open. Some clubs, they use this time to go and take a break and go to the restroom or grab a cup of coffee or something like that. But we use it to address the needs of particularly our guests, if they have any question on the speeches or table topics. Anyone?
I do have a question.
All right, go for it, Christina.
Since I went over my time, can I redo my speech for the next meeting to make sure it's on time? Or do I need to move? Do I have to move on to the next?
No, you can represent your speech again.
Okay.
Yeah, at least one more time, you can. And that doesn't mean that tonight does not count. It's just that you cannot be voted for tonight.
Fine by me.
Yeah, that's right. So your speech tonight, you'll still go into pathways and record it. If you want to challenge yourself, you can, based on the feedback I'm going to provide you tonight, or the feedback people have provided you, you can represent it again. Toastmasters allows you to do a speech twice. Particularly if it's the same speech, the same title, everything. Some people, they are very smart. They present the same speech like 4 times, but they kind of twist it a little bit. I mean,
or in different clubs too.
yes, in different clubs. Yeah. So, but I mean, I had the opportunity to do that, but I never did. But I know some people do that. So, all right. Any other question? Anyone?
I just have a comment. I really like the wheel that's spent. That's really creative. We do a voluntold system. If no one volunteers, we just start calling names. I thought it was really great to ask for a volunteer before we knew what the question was. I really challenge with impromptu speaking. So that was a challenge for me. Really great to ask for a volunteer before sharing the question. I thought that was really awesome. So kudos to your team for doing that. I don't know if you do it every time, but I think that was cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that said,
I do have a question for Christina on her project.
Okay.
So Christina, so how big was the team of architects that participated in that building for 4 years?
Ooh, so I was with a group of 12, and each one had different scopes of work to work on. So one person focused on the stairs, the MEP, some worked on the lobby. So it was like that until year 3, and that's when they started cutting down half the team, and that's half the team, but it was a group of 12.
Okay. When along the design process do you get the structural engineer involved? I mean, you do some planning first and all that, and then you call them to start designing columns and floors and all that, or at what level do you bring them on the team?
They started in the very beginning, very beginning with the whole design team or the whole group, because the architect won the project, and then once when they got the project, that's when they started everyone else. And then when they took their design and then laid out the grids and the columns and cut and divided, and then made sure there's like another separate team that kind of looks at it, designs it, and then they give it back to the architect to be like, hey, this is what we came up with. Is this okay? Does this affect your design intent? And then that's how it's like a back and forth dance.
Yeah.
So, hopefully it makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, in the interest of time, I'd like to move on to the next stage of this meeting. Thank you all so much for your questions. Mr. Timer, how did we do with respect to table topics and the timing? Did they all qualify?
Everybody qualified.
Excellent. Now, with that said, I'm going to push through the poll so that we could vote for them. The first responder was Christina, next was Angel, then myself with the wheel, Ohe came after me, and then Avi. I'm launching the poll right now. So if you wouldn't mind, particularly those of you who are not host or co-host, I know you'll be able to vote.
Yeah.
I won't be able to vote, and I'm sure Avi won't be able to vote. Right? Excellent. I think we may have all the, okay, we may have it all in. Thank you also very much. I am ending it right now. Okay. All right. Next to that is evaluation, which is the E part of our meeting. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over now to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Avi Roy. Avi, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Toastmaster. What a flow. It was completely gripping. And now we are in the E part of the pie, that is the evaluation. Our speakers are gonna get valuable feedback from our masterful evaluators. To begin with, we have our first evaluator, Akin Oni, who is going to evaluate Christina. Akin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Christina, congratulations for that speech. I know it took you a lot of thought. I mean, you just joined the club this March, and you have the boldness to deliver what you delivered. That was amazing. Kudos to you. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much. I'm actually very encouraged that you chose to do that, because number one, my evaluation format is going to be the CDC methodology, content, delivery, and connection. In terms of the content, you had great visuals, which is very important in any presentation. And then you simplified a complex architectural piece of art. I mean, what you just did in, I don't know whether it took you 7 minutes or 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it doesn't really matter. But that was, I mean, very complex. You brought it down to our level in a manner that we could follow you without losing us. I thought that was amazing. The only feedback I will provide you with respect to content is probably what you try to talk to was probably too much materials for a 5 to 7 minute speech. So you can reduce some of the charts or pictures that you have in there. That way you have more focused things that you want to really zero in on. Number two is delivery. You started your speech as follows. Has anyone encountered an obstacle by taking a risk? What a way to draw us in. When you ask questions, you engage your audience. You did that very well. Somewhere in the middle, you also showed a photo and you said, has anyone seen this building before? That was good. Even if someone wasn't paying attention, they will look at what you are showing and pay attention to you. That was a good way to deliver a speech. And then you zeroed in on the uniqueness of a cafe. It was like that old building was about cafe because you told us a lot about the cafe project. And I thought that was good. The only improvement I would suggest is see if you may look less at your notes and look in the camera. You did a lot of reading. I mean, you did, this was your project. I'm sure you could talk about it in your sleep. So just challenge yourself, deliver it with, I mean, we need notes for projects like that, but look at it less and look on the camera. And the last part is connection. Just with all of us, you connected with all of us through the questions that you asked us. You use good hand gestures. And then we were able to relate to the high rise with key components like the cafe, the office, the 5-star hotel. That was good. The only suggestion I will give you is instead of saying so, choose to pause. Just take a pause. I think that is going to help you. I know you are very passionate about what you do. And one standout for me was your handling. You said, take a risk. The worst is for it not to work. But if it does, you are in for the adventure of a lifetime. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, evaluator one, Akin. That was very, very insightful. Let me reset my timing bar. All right. Our next evaluator, and we have a surprise here. The next speaker, who was Jorge, will be evaluated by our area director, Sue. Sue, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator Avi. Jorge, I want to thank you for a very well thought out speech, very well presented, very well organized. You started with a question, and like Akin said in his evaluation, that is almost always a very great hook. So a tool well used. You had a tough subject. It's a dry subject, but you handled it well. I liked especially how your presentation had you stating what you were going to say. And I didn't see the entire slide. You posted points as you were talking about them. And I thought that was a very effective way of presenting your subject matter. And I say that because you especially wanted me specifically to look at your visual aids. I like that your slides were clean, they were simple, they were direct, they didn't have anything additional that would distract me from your speech. Your presentation basically backed up your speech, and I really liked that. I also like that you knew your presentation, you knew what point was coming up, and there were often times you would start talking about your point and then you would click the button to show the point. I like that actually. And it showed that you knew your subject matter really well. I want to challenge you. I feel like you're a very strong speaker. And so here's my challenge to you. I want to hear from you. Let me explain. I want something personal from you, perhaps an example, perhaps a story of your experience as a coach or a protege that would go along with some of the points that you made. I feel like that would have kind of tied the speech in a nice, neat little bow for us to then take and run away with it. I love that you had a very organized speech. You knew what you wanted to convey, and you did that effectively. And for that, I thank you. I would love to have a copy of your presentation if I may, just so I can refer to it in the future. But again, I want to thank you for your speech. Very well done.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate it. Leave me your email and I'll email it to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Madam Area Director. We really appreciate your viewpoint and just jumping in to help out. That was very good. Thank you so very much. Now, with that said, Mr. Timer, do the evaluators qualify?
Yes, all the evaluators qualified.
Excellent. I'm going to push the poll to you all right now so we can vote for the best evaluator. Excellent. That's good. I'm going to end the poll right now. Thank you also very much. All right. With that, yes. Okay. With that said, it's raining really badly around here, so I hope I would still have the power. I'm going to turn it back to Mr. General Evaluator for each team to present their reports. Mr. G.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. All right, continuing the evaluation part of the meeting, I'm going to call upon our next functionary, who is our grammarian. Grammarian, ma'am Rafia, please provide your report.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. First, I'm going to present grammarian report, then I'll go for our counter report. For the grammarian report, I did not hear improper language usage, but I do have some course which I noted during the meeting. Before that, I would like to tell you about those who have used the word of the day today. We used the word of the day today, word of the day one time, then Jorge used one time, and Angel, you also used once. And some of the quotes that I noted down during the meeting. The first one that Christina, you presented, that was the quote, and that was very impressive to me. And your quote was, take a risk. The worst that could happen is that it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out, but if it does, you are in for the adventure of a lifetime. So that was something that appealed to me. And then Jorge said, without coach, you are limiting your chances of success. And then he also said that coaching is carrying other people to success. And again, the one that I liked from you is nurturing your nature and benefiting around you. And Avi, you also said that nature is not in hurry, but everything is accomplished. And that is very true. So that's what was my report from as a grammarian. So when I go to our counter report, I did not hear much of filler sounds, pause fillers, or crutches. It looks like you all were very well prepared. Only I heard a couple of repeats from Christina and Angel. I heard a couple of arms from you. The rest of you were great. Thank you so much. Now back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. That was deep, that was insightful. Continuing with my evaluation, I would go ahead and provide, or in fact, let me switch my hat and provide you the timers report. For the speakers, Christina, you were a little above 7:30, so red. Jorge, you were 6 minutes, 13 seconds. For the table topics, Christina, 1 minute 45, Angel, 1 minute 33, Akin, 1:30, Jorge, 2:11, myself, 1:37. For the evaluation, Akin, 3:10, and Sue, you were 2:45. So thank you and well done. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator, and that's me. All right, now this is where I give a little brief report on what I observed as a general evaluator today. Let me start with the evaluators. Evaluators, you guys did a brilliant job. And what I mean by that is your evaluation was simple, crisp, and overall excellent. They were to the point, they had a roadmap and easy for our speakers to grasp. I have been in many meetings where the evaluators make it so complex by putting a kind of word, hippopotamus, and every word means like one of the thing. H means happy, I means this and that, and we just lose track of the whole theme there. So thank you for keeping it simple and crisp. You also provided call to action. Thanks a lot. Moving on. Table topics. Today, table topics were very insightful, and I would put it innovative and balanced. Innovative because, as usual, Ukpai always brings something to the question and the way he wants to deliver those questions. Balanced, he kept the theme very balanced. His questions were pointed towards work, life, how you want to do things differently now that we came past this COVID period. So thank you, Ukpai, very insightful and very engaging. One special mention to our President Akin for bringing this question and answer section to this format, never done before, very well received. And there's a reason. It creates an opportunity for the lost minds to get back to the meeting. And what I mean by that is, say somebody as a guest joins a Toastmaster meeting for the first time and late. They have no idea what is going on. And the only time they get to speak is in the end. So this gap of 2 minutes creates an opportunity for who got lost, get back to the meeting, or have some clarification on what is going on or related to some speech. So thank you, Mr. President, for bringing that in here. Now, speakers. Speakers, that was a packaged speech topic. And what I mean by that is Speaker one, Christina, you told things about experience that lasts lifelong. And Jorge, you spoke about coach and being a coach, creating potentials to have those lifelong experience. So you mix together, you have a complete balanced as well as overall complete package of speeches that was done today. Now for the overall meeting, we started on time and we look forward to ending on time too. Only recommendation, and I'll put it into 2 words, preparation versus agility. Preparation meaning that we need our members to be a little bit more forthcoming and signing up roles. Let's try to eliminate a little bit of double dipping on roles so that people get chance and we can be more focused on certain things. Agility, I want to highlight this. We have few members here who were called upon in the last moment. Like, hey, can you take up this role? And they were flexible enough to take it and deliver it right on time. That shows what kind of leader you are. That shows what kind of Toastmaster you are. And that shows what kind of professional you are. That wraps up my overall report on this meeting. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
What an evaluation. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Avi, the general evaluator for tonight. We have about 9 minutes to go. And like Avi said, we will finish on time. Right now, I will be calling on Christina, who is managing our ballots. As I called each of the each of the pies, the prepared page, the impromptu, and then the evaluation. She's going to show the winner. We know who our winner is in terms of the prepared speech, and the drum roll is probably not necessary, but we'll do it anyways. And the winner is Jorge Alba. Congratulations, Dr. Alba, as I like to call you. Well done. And the next one is table topics. Our best table topics responder tonight. Let's do a drum roll again. It's Angel Thomas. Angel, congratulations, wherever you are, if you're still with us.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Great job, Angel. And we will send you your certificate if you can leave us your email address. And the last but not the least, let's do another drum roll for the best evaluator tonight. Our best evaluator is our area director. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You can remove the screen share now. Thank you, Christina, for this innovative approach, which we started again this Toastmasters year. It's very good, it's very encouraging, it's very inspiring. Thank you, Christina, for that. And with that said, I'd really like to thank you all. One, as a Toastmaster, and second, as your club president, for bringing it again tonight. We missed those who are not here because they are going to watch this video. I need to let them know that we miss them, and we expect them to participate with us during our next meeting in about 2 weeks. Now, I don't know where you are in your career or family, relationship, whatever, but I don't want anyone to leave this meeting not remembering the theme of this meeting tonight, which is nurture your nature. Mm-hmm. And the starting point for you to do that effectively is value yourself, respect yourself, understand your nature, understand the values that drive you, understand why you do what you do, understand that, look, you are who you are, and all you can do is to improve you. No one else can do it better than you. Again, with those words, I'd really like to once again thank you all for participating tonight. But before we wrap it up, I am going to turn this back over to our presiding officer, who is going to appreciate our PMI Houston, talk to our guests, and then announce his choice of tonight's shout out moment winner for this club meeting. Mr. VPE, you've got about 300 seconds to do all that and run this meeting up. We are project managers. We must finish on time. Over to you, Dr. Alba.
We'll finish on time, definitely. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmasters. Great meeting tonight, don't you think so? What a great speakers. I love Christina's presentation. Next time I go to a cafe, I'm going to start actually looking for all those details about the inlets, the connection for the computer, where everything is located, the low and the high counter and everything. I actually have seen many cafes, but never pay attention to any of that. But you definitely bring a big different perspective to this. And I'm going to ask our guests, what do you think about the meeting? How do you rate us, if you don't mind? Sue first, if you don't mind.
Sure, thank you, Jorge. I love the camaraderie that this team has. It truly now lends you to become an infrangible team. I do, like Toastmaster Avi, noticed that people had multiple roles. And I know from looking at your lists, your member lists, that you have over 20 members. So I feel you have the opportunity to have multiple people attend the meeting and fill up all the roles. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of that happen. I loved your theme, nurture versus nature. It is something ubiquitous that can go with almost any type of situation. Of course, Akin made that because he is your experienced orator and you make any theme sound very plausible. I feel you have an advantage. Being project managers, your team has a distinct advantage because you're already used to talking to people. So I want to challenge this team. I want to see you participate in the Spring International Speech Contest. I will be hosting the Area M33 contest, and I want to see at least somebody from this group. And you have really experienced speakers, so I would love to see somebody in this group participate in that speech contest. I also made an observation, if I may make a suggestion. I loved your table topics with Pi. What I want to suggest is people, especially in this type of open club, people come here because they want opportunities to speak. So my suggestion to you is to take the people that are speakers that have key functionary roles, such as your Toastmaster, your general evaluator, take them off of your wheel such that people that don't have prominent speaking roles have the opportunity to respond in table topics. And that's a challenge I'm going to leave with you. I loved your thought-provoking questions, and I totally enjoyed the answers that everybody gave. Mr. General Evaluator, I want to give you a personal shout out moment because there was one term you used and I'm going to take it away with me. You said a general evaluator is like an auditor. I love that term. I love that analogy, and I'm going to take that away with me, if I may. I like that everybody performed their role with precision. And Christina, I want to applaud you because of your dedication. You gave your speech, you realized, okay, I went too far, I went too long. I applaud your decision to come back the next time and give the same speech again and fine tune it. I like that. Keep that up. I especially, Akin, love that open question section where we as guests or somebody could come in and ask the speakers questions or ask anybody a question. It kind of allows the audience to let our hair down. So I applaud this team. I feel like you're a great team, and I'm very privileged to be your area director. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Angel, if you can give us a couple of your impressions about the club and the meeting.
I don't want to hold you project managers. I know we're at time. I will just say that our club also struggles with, I'm an queen, sorry. Sharing roles, taking on double roles just because we don't get a lot of attendance sometimes, just because, you know, some of our employees have big schedules. So I wouldn't take that to heart, but I think you guys did a great job. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, and definitely thank you very much for visiting with us. And I mean, you and any member from your clubs are always welcome to come and visit. I mean, I have visited other clubs, and it's a very interesting experience and very enlightening experience. So you are always welcome to visit with us at any time. So I want to close with a quote about nature that I read, and I have to actually read it because I don't want to mess it up, but it goes like, take a quiet walk with Mother Nature. It will nurture your mind, body, and soul. It was a quote by A.D. Williams. And before I close the meeting tonight, and I know I went a minute over the time limit, Akim, but we are having actually a lot of rain in the Sugar Land area just passed by us. It's moving from the east to the west, kind of along the I-10 corridor. Is hitting us specifically to the northwest of Sugar Land, and it's going to be hitting Katy and Flush here and all those areas very hard in the next few minutes. We saw winds of about 60 miles an hour. I'm sorry, I was actually looking at my work cell phone because I was getting all the information from the city. So please be careful tonight. Stay home if you can. Try to not go out. Make sure that your pets are inside and protected. And try to move any object that will be taken out by the wind. You don't want flying objects out there. And be careful with the weather. It's picking up and it's getting worse for the next couple of hours. So with that, I don't have anything else to do, but thank you all for participating in our Southwest Project Management Toastmaster Club, and have a wonderful week. Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, as the presiding officer, who is your chosen shout out moment winner tonight?
Okay, I forgot about that. I definitely want to give a shout out minute tonight for Christina. I think she did a marvelous job with her presentation, with her topic, with everything she did. I know she went a little bit over the time.
Yeah, a lot.
That could be easily fixed next time. I know she's going to be right on time, but she definitely did a marvelous job, Christina. Thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, and have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Be safe.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers.
We forgot to, but we didn't have much time to pick up the Toastmaster for next meeting, but
That's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah. So for you, I mean, as the presiding officer, we'll talk about it when next we meet.
Yeah,
The presiding officer is just the presiding officer. They can do other things.
right.
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to see if well, I mean, I can be the Toastmaster if you want to. If you
Yeah,
want
please, if you don't mind.
do the double role. Yeah, all right, no problem. I'll sign up for both.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So
you
have
very much. Have a good evening.
a good man and stay safe tonight.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm sending the rain your way. It's coming your way.
It's already raining heavily here. It's actually already raining heavily here.
Yeah, but it's probably the wind, the worst part. Yeah.
All right. Take care.
So
Bye-bye.
be careful. Be careful
Yeah.
tonight.